Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Niger once again, and it's finally here. This Saturday is the Royal Rumble, and man, there's a lot of hype surrounding this event as to who's going to win, who's going to go on to WrestleMania as the road to WrestleMania officially kicks off and yeah, so these are my official predictions. And so, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, a couple things to mention. For starters, card is of course subject to change. Considering there's technically only one show left before the Rumble, that being Friday, is SmackDown. I highly doubt that they're gonna add any last minute matches, but they might. If they do, add any last minute matches, it'll be it probably won't be. Definitely probably won't be on the magnitude of any of the other matches. But the other thing is that this card may seem a bit small. We have four matches so far really announced for the Royal Rumble, so it may seem a bit small. But considering not just that we have two Royal Rumble matches, but also with WWE apparently wanting to focus on quality over quantity, where you don't stack the match card, but so that every match get its own gets its own attention and own build. I think that works out. I think that definitely is a good thing. But also, like I mentioned, there are two Rumble matches. Those are gonna be that you like a 3 hour show. Usually W's events are like 3 hours or so. Oh, on a 3 hour show, that's just the Rumble match alone. That's like 2 hours right there. Or especially considering last year's Iron Man and who's also going to be in this year's match, that being Gunther, lasted an hour and I believe an hour 15, or maybe an hour and 13. But without further ado, let's get right into the predictions. So, and of course, the other thing is that this is just how it's listed on the wiki. This is how the matches are ordered on the wiki. Doesn't mean this will be uh, the official order of when the matches will take place on the show itself. But we start off with the men's Royal Rumble match at who's going to win and who's going to go on to WrestleMania. For this one, there are some favorite, and that's how you know this year is going to be a banger of a Royal Rumble, and that we truly are. WWE truly is back because now there's a bunch of names that could potentially win it. I think there are a number of favorites to win it. Some people think it's gonna be CM Punk. Some people think it's gonna be Cody Rhodes. Some people think it's gonna be Gunther. I've even seen some predictions saying that Gunther's the favorite to win it. So far, or the people that have been announced as to entering the Royal Rumble is Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Chad Gable, Otis, Akira Tozawa, Kofi Kingston, and Damian Priest. Why Damian Priest is entering, even though he's Mr. Money in the Bank, I have no idea. Why he didn't cash in on Seth, who was injured, so that Seth would drop the world title. I have no idea, but at least from a kayfabe sense, I imagine they're probably saving Seth versus Punk for Mania for the title. But nevertheless, honestly, this was your out. Like Seth versus CM Punk really doesn't need a title, but it is gonna get one anyway, by hook or by crook. But nevertheless, that's so far the field of competitors. And obviously that's 11 competitors, so there will be about 19 more. And I'm also gonna do who I think will definitely be some surprise entrants. I did kind of a video on who could be some surprise entrants. I did that a few weeks ago. So if you haven't already, go check out that video. But as for who do I think is gonna win this? I think I might go with CM Punk on this, is to finally set up Seth Rollins for CM Punk, and really considering the trajectory of the feud and everything, it more so seems like a formality. But yeah, I think CM Punk. I don't think Cody's winning 2 years in a row, and while it would be awesome, I don't think Gunther's winning this year either. Will Gunther win a Royal Rumble? Oh, probably. Should he win a Royal Rumble? Oh, absolutely. I'd be down to see that, but I don't think it's gonna be this year, especially with him still being Intercontinental Champion. I imagine they'll probably want to take the title off of him. But I believe Sports Illustrated is trying to say that it's going to be Gunther versus Seth at Mania, and CM Punk versus Cody, which two matches is two matches that definitely would be bangers, but that's not quite what we've been sold on, but on so far from WWE and the builds and everything. But we will see. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with CM Punk. As for definitive, who do I think is going to be a surprise entrance? Since I mentioned a few names in my surprise entrance video. In fact, let me pull up the exact. I'm gonna pull up the exact list. But I imagine, and there'll probably be some NXT call-ups. Considering that he's kind of been appearing on SmackDown as of late, and they're kind of slowly starting to introduce him to the main roster. I imagine Carmelo Hayes might make an appearance in the match. Someone else who I'd want to see is probably maybe Braun Breaker. Or I'd love to see what Braun Breaker gets up to in that match. Maybe Lexus King, because it'd be funny. Oh, this is my surprise entrance that I had. I had James Storm, Matt Cardona, Ken Shamrock, Kazuchika Okada, and Big E. Okada's not as far-fetched anymore, because now he is officially done with New Japan, and some are saying he's WWE bound, some are saying he may appear on the NXT brand, and lest we forget, 8 years ago at the Rumble 2016, AJ Styles was that's where AJ Styles made his debut. Who I think this was after AJ Styles was fresh from New Japan, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so he could. So that is a possibility. Storm, Cardona, those are a bit out there. Big E, he would be a big one, and Shamrock I think would be a welcome surprise. But yeah. But as for the winner, I think I'm gonna fully go with CM Punk there. But then next up is the Women's Royal Rumble match. Who do I think is going to win that? So far, the people announced has been Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Maxine Dupree, and Ivy Nile. And already alone some pretty strong contenders. Of course, the men's Rumble has some strong names as well, but the women's Rumble has some strong names as well. But who do I think is going to win? I think it might go to Bayley. I think that's how they'll set up Bayley being kicked out of Damage Control and her challenging Io Sky and everything. I think that's how they're going to set that up. As for surprise entrance, of course, there's some names that could be called up from NXT, at least for a one-night appearance, such as Tiffany Stratton or Roxanne Perez, which, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Roxanne Perez in last year's Rumble? If I'm not mistaken, I could be totally wrong about that. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Roxanne Perez made an appearance in last year's Rumble. I could be totally misremembering it. It'd be cool to see her appear, but yeah. But I think Bayley is going to win it. Who I put in for my own surprise appearances: Mickey James is feasible. Jade Cargill may be feasible. Mandy Rose could potentially be feasible. But I think the two big ones that a lot of people are hoping for and expecting are Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné and AJ Lee. Yeah, those would be huge. Those would definitely get a pop, at least out of me. I don't know about you guys, but those would definitely get a pop out of me. Is if Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné and AJ Lee appeared, those would be huge. But then and I am just gonna look up the entrance from the 2023 Rumble to see if Roxanne Perez was indeed in the Women's Rumble. And I'm looking at NXT, and she was okay. So I did remember her that. So I wasn't making that up. I wasn't dreaming. So she was having her appear 2 years in a row, I think. Actually, now that I think about it, well, she might. I think they did once or twice. In Rumbles previous, especially the women's Rumbles, where they had people come up from NXT for multiple years in a row. But nevertheless, as going back to the sheet. The next up, or the matches, I should say. Next up is the Fatal 4-Way for the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship, as Roman Reigns will be defending against Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. Yeah, so all three of these guys have been gunning for Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. All three have a bone to pick with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, so it's made for an interesting build towards this Fatal 4-Way. It was interesting that they did the contract signing last week on SmackDown. Normally, I feel like the contract signing is normally supposed to be like right before the show. Although feasibly, like you think about it in kayfabe, that is kind of late to sign the contract. But at first, Roman didn't want to sign it, but Nick Aldis is, and I do love the whole like kind of game of wits between the Bloodline and Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis essentially out healing Roman Reigns, even though Roman Reigns is like the biggest heel in WWE. But nevertheless, as I am excited for this Fatal 4-Way. I don't think Roman's losing this Fatal 4-Way, but it is gonna be a big one. Like Roman, and throughout this reign he's had as Universal Champion, he hasn't had a whole lot of multi-man matches. I think the only other one I can think of is the triple threat at Mania 37, but otherwise not a lot of multi-man matches from Roman. And so this is going to be a nice change of pace and a nice breath of fresh air for those watching. But I think Roman's going to retain. I don't think he's dropping it until Mania. As for who he's going to face at Mania, that's also still kind of up in the air. Or now that The Rock is on the TKO board, which we'll talk about more on System Shock Radio on Saturday. Now that The Rock's on the TKO board, some say it might be Roman versus The Rock at Mania. The Rock said he wants to fight Roman at Mania, so we'll see. But otherwise, I don't think Roman's losing here. But then, and last but not least, for the United States Championship, Logan Paul will be battling Kevin Owens, and honestly, unless Logan Paul finds a way to weasel his way out of this one, I don't think he's retaining against, at least not against Kevin Owens. And if anything, it'll further the feud between himself and then Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and could potentially lead to that perhaps teased babyface run for Austin Theory. But otherwise, I think I'm gonna go with my guy. I think I'm gonna go with Kevin Owens on this one, and I think Kevin Owens is gonna walk out U.S. champion. But Logan, and again, and props to Logan, because he's taking it seriously. He's appearing on TV, mostly when he can, and walk around with the U.S. title, really playing it up. And say what you want about him, feel how you want to feel about him as a person, but I do have a lot of respect for Logan Paul when it comes to pro wrestling. He definitely gets it, but we'll see what he does against Kevin Owens. It'll be an interesting match, and I imagine Kevin Owens will bring some good stuff out of Logan Paul here. But nevertheless, that is my predictions. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who you think is going to win the Rumble, who you think is going to win the Universal Championship, and who you think is going to win the United States Championship. And we'll see if any other matches are added. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my social medias. I have a Facebook, a Twitter, and an Instagram. I gotta get back to posting on those. I definitely will. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.